Hello everybody, today we're going to be working on superhero boxes. These are filled with comics and have all your favorite superheroes on them. Today we're going to look at a finished product right here, and my name is Mrs. Martin. I'm going to be showing you how to do this, brought to you from your local library. So if you open the box, you'll notice there are comics inside. And then we have the front cover and all the sides and all the way to the bottom as well, with your favorite superheroes. I have the sides done for you, and hopefully you'll see your favorite superhero on there. So let me get you started today with talking about how we have created these packs for you. And inside the Ziploc bag, you're going to see a container of glue. So let me show you those. So the container of glue, it's white, it's Elmer's glue, and so it'll dry clear. And remember, it'll harden. It'll go from liquid to harden in about 2 days. I also gave you a stick, a popsicle stick that you could use to take the glue out and put it on the box and put it on the material as well. Or you could even use what's you might find helpful is using a paintbrush. Sometimes paintbrushes are really good for putting glue on the object, but you have to make sure you wash the paintbrush when you're finished so that it doesn't harden and you wouldn't be able to clean it. The other thing that you're going to need today is your own pair of scissors, just regular kitchen scissors or sewing scissors to help to cut the material. So you're going to find in the box, in the Ziploc box bag or inside of the box, so it's a white box like this. It's a craft box that we're going to use to decorate. We're going to take first the longest piece of fabric that you have. So it's a pretty long piece, and that's going to start us on the inside of the box. So set up your inside box like this, open it up, and take your long piece of fabric, and you want to line it up on the inside of the box. So the first thing is you always want to think about centering it so that it's even with the ends of the box, and that you have a little bit left over on each side that you could fold it over once the glue is on there, and that the glue will make it sticky so it'll stick to the cardboard. And then after approximately 2 days, it'll be nice and set and it'll be hardened. Then you could put all your favorite collections in there or items. You can leave it on your dresser and it will look wonderfully. So I'm going to line it up. I want to make sure that I have enough fabric so that I could go all the way to the bottom. So I'm just folding it against the folds of the box to make sure that it's even and it brings me all the way to the edge. Okay, and that's what I want to make sure. So it's kind of like that, it's even for the whole, that it can make the whole surface area of the entire box. And look how I'm going to do the end. I'm just going to fold the end over. So the easiest way I found is if you start with the inside, but start with one of the sides. And I usually start with the bottom side down here on the inside of the box. Okay, so by folding it, and this box doesn't want to stay open, but I'm going to fold it over so I have a tiny bit left over, and I also have a little bit on that's going to cover each of the sides of the box. So if you notice here, I have a little bit left over on the edge, and I have a little bit that I could fold over this way as well. And I'm just going to go, I'm going to take my glue stick or my paintbrush. In this case, I'm going to use a glue stick, which is the popsicle stick. And basically, you could have a piece of newspaper next to you and you can work on the newspaper so you don't get glue anywhere, except for where you want it to be. You can start putting glue on the fabric. So how do you do that? Well, very simply. You take the fabric back out of the box, or if you want, it's depending on what you're working on, what surface area. Since I'm trying to show you, and I want the box to stay kind of still, I'm going to work inside of the box like this to get it even, and hopefully it'll stay open for you so you can see it. Maybe I'll tape it. Maybe that'll work. Let me tape the cover open. 1 second. Here we go. A little piece of tape. And hopefully that'll work. I'll just tape the box top up here just for a split second so it doesn't keep popping down, but we'll see if that holds. Okay, so taking the glue stick, taking the glue, here's my glue stick, and I'm just going to start applying some of the glue on the edge that runs along for the bottom. I'm not going to worry about the sides yet because I'm actually going to clip them with the scissors. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue on each, the middle and the right side and the left side, just to get it stuck and start to get myself centered. Okay. And since Elmer's glue works so well, you can just put a little bit. You don't have to go overboard. Oh, the box closed. All right, here we go. So now it's starting to stick. And that's going to help me to be able to work with the fabric. And by the way, you have 3 pieces of fabric. The longest one we're using right now. Then you have a middle-sized piece. And then you have 1 or 2 longer pieces that are for basically the sides. Okay, look at that. So far so good. It's stuck there. And you can always go back if you feel there's not enough glue. You could go back and put more glue. Okay, so now this piece is still loose. So what I'm going to do is just gently pull it open a little bit. And I'm going to start applying glue on this part of the back. How do I do that again? I just keep on gluing with my glue stick. And I'm just putting little drops all the way down the whole frame and the sides. Now I'm not going to worry too much about the sides yet because I'm going to go back to that in a little while and we'll work on it. But first I want to get the inside done. And the whole inside of the box will be completed once we get this stage finished. So just apply that glue. And you can't go wrong with this glue because you don't see it. You're not going to see it. And you are, it's going to be underneath or on the inside. So it'll dry clear as well. You can't really make any mistakes is what I'm saying with this. So just keep applying the glue. It's kind of like you're painting the fabric a little bit with glue. Keep going back. And I'm just doing it really fast to show you how it works. Okay, so let's start by pulling this back up. We'll fold it in. You could roll this down a little if it's getting in your way. Okay, and then we're just going to simply press it with our fingers and hands along the sides, making it even. So let me turn this so you can see it. All right, and I'm pressing it down. And you can see right away on this side that it's kind of tipping, going to the left. So I just want to pull the fabric back so it's more even, so it covers the actual corners. I'm just going to tape this a little bit more. Okay, so I'm just going to tape this a little bit more. And that's holding the box open. Now I'm going to just use my fingers and I'm pushing down that glue with my fingers. Your fingers might get glue on them. You might feel them getting wet, but that's okay because Elmer's glue is safe, non-toxic, and washable, 100% washable. So I'm just tucking it into the corners with my finger, and I can feel the whole bottom is already getting sticky, which is really good. I don't have any bumps. That you could check, make sure there's no bumps or lumps. And now I'm gonna just pull the fabric again back, and I'm gonna paint the next row or the next bit. How do I paint it? Just apply some of the glue onto the stick. Keep on going. Keep on applying. And this fabric you can buy anywhere. It's from a craft store. You could get any superhero fabric you like. Some of you are going to see that you have Batman, Spider-Man, Marvel, Star Wars, all these different heroes. Okay, so I'm just putting more glue, making sure it's thorough. All right. And again, you can't make any mistakes with this. You know why? Because it's not even going to show. It's just for the purpose of gluing it down and getting it even. Okay, so that was a good amount. Let's see how that's going to go. I'm going to lift that up, and I'm going to make it nice and even. And again, I see that it keeps on pulling. My design is the fabric keeps pulling to the left. So when I'm putting it down, I just have to be aware of that. For whatever reason, it keeps on pulling over. So I'm going to have to move it to the right a little bit in the box. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm pulling it, using my fingers actually, just making it nice and even and pulling it so the whole thing is covered. Now you shouldn't really have any lumps in here or bumps or anything like that because it's following the shape of the box. Again, sealing the sides against the sides of the box and sealing the back against the back part of the wall of the box. Good. Okay, very good. So now I'm going to get to the next section. Here we go again. And glue, glue, and more glue. And we should about be done in this little part. You could be generous with that glue too because it'll help the fabric stick. And now I'm going all the way up to the edge because we're going to make the box stick to the end and overlap. And we should be able to finish it on this next trial. Let's see if I can get it. So I got to unhook this tape. Okay, let me do that. And open it. And now I'm going to stick this up here. All right, now I'm pulling it. And see all these bumps? I'm going to pull it upward. So I get rid of some of those bumps. What's great about working with this is, right now, it's not dry. So it's extremely flexible. You can pull the fabric. You can make sure that it's even. It's not bumpy. And it's going to be able to fold in the corners like the box folds. This came out pretty good. There's no real lumps. And then I'm going to tuck the top over like that. And I'm going to make sure that I can open and close the box, which I can. Okay. So with your scissors now, we're just going to make little tiny cuts in the corners. So take your scissors, and we'll start over here. You can see this one pretty well. I'm just going to make a diagonal cut, like on an angle. Let me see if I could show you. I'm going to just snip this so that it goes on an angle. So let me show you what I mean on a piece of fabric. So I'm going to go diagonal like this on the corner. And I'm going to cut it. So when I cut it diagonal, it made a little cut like that. Okay? So what that's going to do is allow one of the pieces of the fabric to go on top of the other piece of the fabric. Now, if your scissors aren't sharp at the edge, you can move them around until you get the cut you like, the preciseness that you like. If the scissors don't work, so I'm just moving mine for 1 split second to get the cut that I like. And if you don't get the cut you're liking with the scissors, you can pull the fabric back a little until you get that little bit of a cut in there. So let me show you what I just did. I cut the fabric right here, you see this? And now I'm going to just stick it all back. And now one of the pieces, let's say the side piece, let's put a little glue on the side piece. Here's the glue back. I'll put it here so you can see. We'll fold this little side piece down, and I'm just putting some glue here. So you don't want to touch the top or the front of the fabric, just the sides. You can also do a little cut like that to the front of the piece of the fabric, and then that will have it stuck on that side. And again, make sure it's flat, not bumpy, on the side and the bottom, and especially into that corner. Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'll cut this one now on this other side. And again, if my scissors aren't really working that well, I could pull the fabric up and I can cut it. Because sometimes scissors are funny like that. They don't want to cooperate as much. And they will be harder to manage, but we'll get it. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to flatten it. I'm going to put a little glue on the corner. And I don't want to put the side piece on yet. I want to do the I want to just do one side at a time. So I'm just doing this piece, and then I'm going to switch over to the other side. Okay, then I'm going to turn the box so you can see it. Let's make sure. And I want to get rid of that little bump over there. So now I have to cut, or so I can fold over here on this side. So I'm going to cut the front. See that? Cut the front with the scissors. And then we're going to just glue that down. And just making sure each time it's not bumpy. Now part of this is going to get covered by other fabric, but we don't want to have any bumps if we don't have to. Okay, so a little glue on each of the pieces to have it stick. All right, so that completes that side and the back. So let's move on to the back a little bit. Again, we're going to just make cuts every time we have a fold. we make another cut. And each time we cut it, we're going to glue it down so that it's not bumpy and that the fabric follows the box. So here's some more glue. And I keep on going. I keep on gluing. And don't worry too much about the sides because, again, I told you, it's going to get covered. No bumps.